Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Good morning. Good morning. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Happy Tuesday.
I never know which way my hair is. Okay, I'm just gonna go like this. Oh, it's a little dismal out there today.
Yeah, yeah. Do you subscribe to the fact that only old people part their hair on the side? I don't know.
I
There's
just
that
let my
whole
hair.
thing where people are supposed to be parting their hair down the center,
Well,
and they're the young ones, and then they roll their eyes at us old ones that part it down the side.
I just let my hair have reign. Whatever my hair wants to do, my hair does.
My whole life, I've always parted it on the side, so I don't know. I guess I've always been old. I don't know. It's just one more way that kids try to put us down. Ugh.
Well, I have to say, out of all the fads, I suppose, the fads that are on right now, the whole curtain bang thing, or they call it a curtain bang now.
Curtain bang.
Well, it's just a fancy way of saying, sorry,
Bang.
I didn't wash my hair. I just kind of put more gel in. The curtain bang is like the part in the middle.
You've got to be kidding me. That is, yeah. I think my kid actually did it the other day, and I was like, no. That and Crocs, not allowed in my house.
What do you got against Crocs, Wendy?
Well, the same thing I have against that hairdo.
Wow.
So very opinionated, did you not know?
Wow, you're opinionated today.
I just got out of the shower too. My hair is just like, rah! Anyways, I can't do your hair when you're looking in the. There we go. So today we were just going to leave it open discussion because we really didn't have any idea about what we wanted to talk about, and we just thought we just roll with whatever came out of our mouths today. But before we get into that, just a reminder that May 7th is our Nourish Mama virtual retreat.
Yes.
And I've left a link in the comments up above for everybody to register and get that early bird pricing, because come May 1st, the prices will go up, and it is an amazing, amazing opportunity. You get 4 health practitioners with 5 different events. I think that's how it's working.
5 different subjects.
5 different subjects. So you are getting like a bang of a deal, plus the fact that you're nourishing the soul, you're nourishing the mama on so many different levels that, it's going to be an amazing, amazing event. You're going to get Dana, who is nourishing our inner goddess and really inner divine goddess, and looking towards our physical health and our breast health. You're going to get me, who's going to be doing cooking and nourishment kind of demonstration. Dawn is going to be going through a short restorative yoga situation. Darlene is going to be doing talking about that inner dialogue that a lot of us mamas tend to dive into a little bit more than maybe we should, because we are awesome, superhuman people, and yet we forget to tell ourselves that a lot of times. I'm not exactly sure if that's what she's talking about, but this is definitely that inner dialogue that we,
the inner dialogue, the negative talking about ourselves. So.
And then we have an incredible sound bath and yoga meditative ending towards the whole evening, just to round things out. And it's not on Mother's Day, it's on the day before, which really just gives that opportunity for you to have a day of
Friday.
On the Friday. And then you can wait for the kids to make you pancakes in bed the next morning. That's just the way it is. Or hopefully maybe your husband, even though you're not his mother. Yeah. And he shouldn't treat you like his mother, but he should treat you kindly, because, giving birth to his children is enough, I would say.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
Yeah. So I was doing a little bit of thinking last night about the total opposite of what a lot of us talk about. And I haven't Googled it, I haven't talked about it at all, you too much. But there's also when we talk about health issues and our weight, a lot of times we end up seeing the opposite effect where we end up losing weight due to issues that might be going on. And my brain was like in overdrive last night, trying to think of different ways to, or what reasons there could be for a person to lose weight unexplainably, because there's a
Yeah,
lot of
we don't ever talk about that. We always talk about intentionally trying to lose weight, and all of us struggling with this metabolic storm, or this insulin resistance or metabolic resistance, because then it's very difficult. Is it our thyroid? Is it da? But definitely, when you're talking about this, inability, you're puzzled and you keep losing weight. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard. And in a lot of cases, I would certainly want you to go, go talk that over with your doctor so that you can get proper blood work done. But then when you're working with a nutritionist, it's not like just gobbling up a bunch of hard calories to try and put weight back on. No, you have to be really actually strategic about putting weight on. And it's interesting, even for women who do weightlifting, this is a strategy that they even employ, because they are trying to build muscle tone, trying to build muscle, strength, and there is a strategic way to be doing that as well. So definitely you want to, there's many things to consider, and I love how, the live blood can actually rule out a few different things, and perhaps give you that sort of checklist of items to discuss with your doctor for testing, right?
Yeah.
Or, is it a little beyond or out of the scope of what a medical doctor can do? Then functional, like nutrition, or naturopathic, so that they can actually order other blood work that your medical doctor doesn't do.
Oh, yeah.
Or stool testing, or, those types of things, which again are really great tests when you are losing a lot of weight. Right?
Yeah.
Because I know for me, when I hear someone's losing weight, the first thing I think of is, how's their stress, and how's their thyroid?
Yeah. Yeah, and there could be a lot of different reasons behind that as well too. I mean, it could be a physical thing. It could be a very mental thing as well too. Stress is a big one that can really affect the body on levels that, I don't even think that we understand at this point. And when that brain gut connection really gets hyper fired up, it can make a big difference about what's going on. I mean, obviously, when you go to a doctor or you go into your health care team, you want to use their skills and their modalities to rule things out. It's not going to be just, oh, you've got this, so you've got this. No, you do that elimination kind of situation where you're going to rule out things like gut disorders, so your IBS or your inflammatory bowel disease, any of those first. And then you're going to look at other kind of autoimmune situations, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, and then, of course, your thyroid, if you get your thyroid levels checked. But of course, taking those thyroid levels and then bringing them to your naturopathic doctor or your nutritionist, who can read them at a little bit of a different level than your doctor can too, because doctors have their guidelines that they have to follow according to Health Canada. But naturopathic doctors and functional nutritionists and holistic nutritionists can look at it and say, yeah, this level might not be, it's heading in the direction that you don't want it to go. Or especially with thyroid levels, they tend to not really, now I might be generalizing here, but they tend to not really do too much or start really getting serious about a situation until the numbers are in the red zone and like there's no coming back from that kind of situation. Whereas your naturopathic doctor or your nutritionist or whoever from a more holistic modality can look at your numbers and go, well, yeah, they're rising and we don't want them to get to the red zone before we start doing stuff. So we want to look at it now. I kind of digressed about kind of some stuff here, but There's lots of
Wendy, that's okay.
yeah. There's lots of different reasons why you can be losing weight. You know, like I said, from autoimmune to your depression is another one that can really cause you to lose a lot of weight. And again, it's that mind gut connection that is very, very
important, I think.
Yeah, very deep. But there's maybe a couple other things that you might not see. COPD, which is a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is one of those ones that is a progressive lung disease that can really include like emphysema and chronic bronchitis and different things like that. That can really lead you to a lot of weight loss as well too. It's hard for the body to breathe when it's like that. So you're using a lot of energy, and that energy will be eaten up by the foods that you're obviously, food is energy. And if you're using a lot of energy to breathe, that's, you know, a lot of that time that's going to be taking up a lot of energy with regards to that. Heart issues, another one can come up. Endocarditis is an inflammation of the heart or the heart's lining. And the endocardium, basically, it's like a sac that's the heart sits in. And you could have issues with regards to that. And again, if your heart is beating harder than it has to, you're using up more energy. Difficulty breathing, night sweats, all these different things can ultimately cause some weight loss as well too.
If I have more night sweats, I have weight loss? Is that what you just said?
Yay for menopause! No, it doesn't work that way.
I'm not making light of it, but that was funny. So
yeah. I watched a show the other day, and because one of the things that I was looking at that can cause weight loss, again, it's a lung disorder, tuberculosis, which is something that we don't see anymore too much, anyways, in the first world countries. I know as a healthcare practitioner, I used to every year get a TB test and stuff like that. But anyways, tuberculosis, it just reminded me of a program that I was watching. It was a subtitled in German, or it was a German program subtitled in English, talking about tuberculosis and the cure for tuberculosis back in the 1880s, late 1880s. When they brought about the vaccine for it. And actually, the show didn't go into the fact that they were able to. They actually ended up getting a vaccine for diphtheria at that time. And anyways, it was a big, long story. But it was very, very cool not cool. It was interesting from a healthcare perspective, the way that the healthcare system was run back in the 1880s in Germany, which was a very progressive country back in the day. And yeah, well, it still is now. Yeah, but I'm talking about for the healthcare industry. Yeah. Of course, and then you had the other big ones going on at the time too, Pasteur and Beauchamp and all these other incredible scientists that were developing a lot of these disease vaccines and protocols, and Pasteur, obviously, pasteurization, the whole process, and Beauchamp with his I'm not quite sure what he did, about the same thing with that kind of stuff. I don't know all the history of it, but it was very, very interesting. And then, of course, you had Enderlein, which is the guy that I follow through live blood analysis. And, it just, yeah, it's amazing. I don't know. I just geek out on stuff like that. My husband worked night shift for his run of night shifts, and I dove right into those shows for a few nights. So it was like, wow. First female doctor. They didn't even allow women to attend medical school at that time. So this nurse who just happened to fall into that whole scenario, decided she wanted to become a doctor, but had to go to Switzerland for it. Mm-hmm. The whole thing. And it was really amazing. But I digress. So tuberculosis is one of those ones that can actually cause weight loss as well, too, decreased appetite, and again, something we don't really see too much anymore. Although it's still around. I mean, you can still end up getting, I laugh a little bit. My mom, she was a nurse all her life. And of course, back in the day, back in 60s when she was in nursing school, she had to have a TB test done all the time.
Yes.
And so you either get a positive reaction or you get a negative reaction. You get a negative reaction, you get the test done every time. Like they circle your arm, and if it inflames, then that's a positive reaction. If it just stays the way it is, then it's a negative reaction. Maybe I'm telling too much here. When she went to go, she got her TB test. Before she got it read, she smacked her arm really hard, so it went all red and inflamed. She never had to have the test again because she tested positive for it, saying that the antibodies were in her system. She was exposed to it. Antibodies built up. She was fine, good to go. So she never had to have the test ever again. It's not bad. I shouldn't have
tattling.
I was not watching.
Wendy, you are tattling.
Oh, but it's such a cool thing. Anyways, I thought it was cool. It was one of those, wow, Mom, you're just like a badass.
She's a rebel. She's a rebel.
Anyways, yeah, tuberculosis is not something that we see too much anymore, obviously.
No, but that's interesting. I would have never thought of all of those different aspects with the loss of appetite, but it's interesting, right?
Cancer is another big one too. As a cancer practitioner, we see a lot of what we call cachexia, which is the wasting away, and that's basically the body trying to keep up, but it can't because the cancer is just taking over and not able to sustain itself in the body. And if you have unexplained weight loss, this is one of the things you want to rule out, obviously, because it can be life-altering, obviously. Addison disease is that wonderful thing that we get with the immune system attacks the adrenal glands.
Yes.
Addison disease, when I say attack, it is, I don't know, there's a couple of schools of thought. If you listen to the medical medium, Anthony, I forget his last name, he says that the body never attacks itself. So autoimmune diseases originate from a different source, and not simply from the fact that they are attacking the body. But this is, again, that whole controversial thing. If you want to read more about it, go to themedicalmedium.com. You can really see a lot of his theories with regards to that. So, adrenal glands starting to really become weak because of too much stress, and, hormones like cortisol and aldosterone really working overtime, and then your adrenals become weak, and then something comes in, and is very opportunistic and grabs onto the fact that they're weak. And it's a survival of the fittest a lot of times you find in our bodies, right? Where the weak spot is, that's where those opportunistic things come in and take over. Something like HIV as well, too. I mean, HIV, immune function disorder as well, too. And one of those things that really, you can lose a lot of weight. And it's not something that is gone by any means. We just don't hear a lot about it anymore. For those people that are new, I'm sure everybody's heard of HIV, but HIV is acquired, can lead into, if it's untreated, can lead into AIDS, which is the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And it's not a death sentence anymore, apparently. Again, it's not something that I've heard a lot about.
I don't really hear too much about it, and I think that's probably why, because medicine, like medical community, has done so much and so much research with it that I would expect that they would have such great results with it. For sure.
Yeah, the medicines that they were trying out during the 90s and different things, I think they've really allowed for prolonged life and quality of life as well, too. Let's see, my son is 23 now. All through my pregnancy, I worked in the predecessor to Maison Hospice. What do they call it now? Hospice House in Sudbury, which is a strictly just palliative care house. Hospice. The predecessor to that was called Maison Le Paix, which was a small home situated right downtown. And it strictly was a house and a home for palliative care of AIDS clients or end-stage HIV. And so I spent actually 9 months in there looking after clients as they were going through the end stages. And it was an amazing time. And I look back on it very fondly because it was an opportunity to see a different side of health. And, it was, I don't know, it was just very interesting. It was a very short part of my healthcare career, but it was, I found it, I don't forget it. And I remember because I was like 9 months pregnant. I think I was just pregnant when I went in, and then I gave birth in January, and I had finished, and obviously went on maternity leave. But at that period of time, my client had gone through the stages and had passed, I think, around Christmas time. And then I had given birth in January. So it was very interesting. Yeah. Oh, one last thing that could cause unexplained weight loss is congestive heart failure. So congestive heart failure is, when the heart cannot fill up with enough blood to be able to, or can't force the blood, doesn't have enough force to pump the blood to the places that it needs to. Congestive heart failure, we saw a lot of that in the nursing home, where the body would basically, because it couldn't do the job that it needed to do to pump the fluids in the body, the lungs would eventually just fill up, causing a lot of shortness of breath, persistent cough, swelling, a lot of these things, and would eventually take clients as a result. But this is another situation that is life-altering and life-threatening, and you should get it checked out for sure, especially if you have those kind of complications in your life, and you're at that time in your life. Maybe you smoked your whole life. Maybe you had a very poor diet your whole life. Maybe, I don't know, it could be so many different factors affecting that. But yeah, that's what I have to say today.
I love it. I love it. See, I knew. I asked the questions. I love that.
Yeah, that's and if anybody has questions like that, go ahead and ask us, because my brain's always there anyways. I don't know about you, Dana, but I mean, of course, unless I'm sitting by the fire or hanging out with the fam or something like that. But I usually my brain is always kind of twirling somewhere in that dimension. I think yours is too. I think all of us are, because we're always kind of thinking in that direction from a very holistic perspective, and trying to understand and provide answers to people's questions. That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much to learn out there. That's for sure. And it's always ever changing, and staying on top of research and or, we have people who call and say, hey, what's your thoughts on this? And, or they have the great questions. You're just like, let me get back to you on that.
Yeah. And it's as simple as that. I know, I mean, if it's a very extensive kind of situation, we do require like a history taking kind of session, whereas we're going to sit down and have a more of a professional kind of look at what's going on. But, just the little questions, it's all good. It's all good. From my perspective anyways. I know there's a lot of practitioners out there that won't, unless you sit down and pay the fee and whatnot. But this is kind of, I think, for me, it's my passion. It's something that I love to do. And the research part of it sometimes is half the fun, if not more than the fun. Of course, I don't know why I didn't have this when I was in school.
Right? Hindsight, if we would dedicate ourselves like this in school. But, like we don't know those things. We don't know what floats our boat when we're 19 years old or 18 years old. And even in grade 9, like it's difficult enough as it is.
Yes.
Right. And let alone trying to decide a career. But even if you have a fantastic career, it may not be what floats your boat secretly, right? Doing art or painting or music or dancing may actually be what your true passion is. But yeah, that's why there's volunteer work, and that's why there's groups, and that's why you don't work 20 hours a day.
Oh, you don't?
No. And you're supposed to get outside and go for a walk.
Yeah, well, I'm I've got some news coming. I've told a couple people already that I bought my tower garden already, but I was given some bad news that the lights that go with it are on back order right now. So I have to wait a little while, and that's okay. I changed my office around. I was going to have it sitting behind me so everyone could see it when we do our lives and everything else. But I actually am going to have to. And then I thought, well, okay, I'll just have the natural light in my house. And somebody told me, no, can't do that either. So I'm actually going to have to put it out into my garden shed because my husband said, just put it out there because it's warm enough. I was thinking that outside would be too cool just yet. Of course, I won't be planting into it till probably middle of May or so.
Right.
Which is normal planting time for us anyways. But I'm going to be, getting out there and showing you guys all kinds of pictures with regards to the tower, the progress that I'm going through with it. So I'm hoping that you guys can
follow. It just sounds like you need to be making your office outside, Wendy.
I might have to, except for the fact that the internet is shitty out there. So otherwise, I would say, how many times have you tried to do a live or something outside and you can't see because of the sun? I mean, I'm not complaining about the sun, but it doesn't work with the computer screen.
I don't know. I just, me, I just roll with it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. I've done a few actually out in the gazebo.
But in your shed, you don't have sunlight like you think you do. You have a bit of shade there. It's not like direct sunlight.
Yeah, but I don't have internet.
And when you get your thing like this, you have a stand, so you just use your phone anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. Can you do StreamYard through your phone?
I don't think so.
Oh, sounds like someone needs to buy an iPad. You just do everything through your iPad.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Can your iPad fit on your light?
You just need a different mount.
Yeah, I've been thinking actually about getting an iPad for a while. It might be it's on my list, I think. So anyways, you guys don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. So we'll cut it off there today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see everyone tomorrow, and everyone have a fantastic day today. And, start planning your garden. Start planning. I mean, none of the garden houses are open yet. It's too early anyways.
Zilda's open.
But you can dream and you can Pinterest.
Zilda's open.
Yeah, but not for vegetables yet.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if there's any vegetable. Yeah, I think.
No. Everyone, head to Zilda.
Well, they're open anyways. I don't know what to have in there. I know my neighbor's, she's got her pansies out, her yellow pansies out already. So, and she's really on top of her garden. So she also takes them in every night though, too, because we're, mine is 0 at night.
Still too early. Yeah.
Mine's 0 at night, if not more. Anyways, okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.